Welcome everybody. Today we are going to discuss about the formation of brachial plexus and distribution of its branches to the different components of the body. Brachial plexus is a plexus of nerves which has been formed by the ventral primary branches of 7th, 8th and 6th cervical spinal nerve and 1st and 2nd thoracic spinal nerve, and is situated in between the shoulder joint and the anterior aspect of the thorax. This plexus is responsible for innervation of the anterior part and lateral part of the thorax, arm, forearm and legs of the animals. This is the neck portion of the animal, and this is the foreleg. This is the abdomen. If you consider the musculature of this area, we will get this brachiocephalic muscles. Here we will get trapezius muscles. Then we will get the deltoid muscles over here, and at the lateral aspect of the thorax we will get this latissimus dorsi muscles. And here at the ventral aspect of this thorax we will get this pectoral muscles, and here we will get serratus thoracis muscle. Here we will get the serratus cervicis muscles, and so on. And here, covering this portion, we will get this triceps muscle. Here we will get the biceps muscles and all these things. So all this area, including these muscles of the leg, which are extensor and flexor muscles, and the skin, all this area will be provided by the nerves arising from the brachial plexus. Now, if you consider the neck portion of the animal, there will be the cervical vertebra, and this is the beginning of the thoracic vertebra. So this is the cervical 5, this is cervical 6, cervical 7, this is the thoracic 1, this is thoracic 2. We'll now look to the spinal cord. Here, spinal cord is a cylindrical structure which is housed in the canal of the vertebral column, which is the part of the central nervous system coming from the brain going to the tail region along the whole of the length. This spinal cord give origin to some nerves in the form of rootlets. There will be dorsal rootlets and the ventral rootlets. The dorsal rootlets will join together to form a ganglia over there, which you know the dorsal root ganglion. Ventral roots, they do not form any ganglion, they form a just nerve trunk. The dorsal portion and the ventral portion will join together to form the spinal nerve, and immediately after its formation it is divided into a dorsal branch and a ventral branch. So nerve is coming out of this spinal cord, and after formation it is dividing into a dorsal branch and a ventral branch. Similarly, here also we are getting the ventral branch and a dorsal branch is going there. Dorsal branch is going to the upper portion, that is the back side, and they are going downward to the thoracic side or belly side. So this is also forming, coming down So these nerve trunks, they are coming and joining together and forming a meshwork of nerves. You know, there is a scapula over here. If you look to the next figure, here are the different muscles as I have already drawn. This is the shoulder muscles, these are the muscles of the arm, this is muscles of the forearm, muscles of the thorax, and so on. Now this brachial plexus will be covered. You see, this is the bone, scapula, humerus, radius ulna inside. The inside portion you will see only if you make a dissection like this and revert the whole of the structure towards the front. The brachial plexus will be visible, remaining between the shoulder joint and the anterior part of the thorax. Now here, this is the level of this bone scapula. Here is the bone humerus, this is the radius, and here we are getting the ulna. So they are outside. Inside we are getting this brachial plexus. This brachial plexus, after its formation, will be distributed to the various parts of the body cavity over here, shoulder, arm and forearm, and this will ultimately go to the digits, the extreme end of this leg. So these branches are, there is a way how to remember: 2 scapular branches, 3 thoracic branches, 1 axillary branch, 1 nerve to teres muscle, 1 musculocutaneous, then 3 to 4 pectoral nerves, then 1 radial nerve, 1 ulnar nerve, and other is the median nerve. So 2 plus 3, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 altogether, 10, 11, 12. There are almost 12 major branches. Besides this, there will be minute branches. We don't consider all these minute branches at this moment. Now how they are distributed? Here is the scapula, I told you. This is the scapula, this is the humerus. From the cranial aspect of this plexus, 1 nerve will originate and will go towards the lateral aspect of the scapula. This is known as suprascapular nerve. Very thin nerve, and at the same time another nerve will go and will be distributed to the subscapular muscles. So this is the subscapular, suprascapular and subscapular. So 2 nerves are there over scapula. There are 3 thoracic nerves, I told you. Here is the abdomen and this is the thorax of the animal. Thoracic nerves are 3. One is the external thoracic, thoracodorsal and long thoracic. External thoracic nerve will go downward. This will provide some innervation to the pectoral muscles over here and will go further backward and will give some small twigs to the abdominal wall. This is the external thoracic. Thoracodorsal, here I have already drawn about a muscle which is known as the latissimus dorsi. Here are the pectoral nerves. So thoracodorsal nerve originate and will go backward and will be distributed to the muscles over here, which is known as the latissimus dorsi. Long thoracic nerve will originate, and here are certain muscles I told you which are known as the serratus muscle. Serratus muscles will be at the thorax as well as at the shoulder region. So all these serratus muscles will be innervated by this long thoracic muscle. So this is about the thoracic nerves. Here you can see this is the plexus, this is the subscapular branch, and this is going towards that side. These are the thoracic branches. Now other branches are going down. Now from the main plexus, a thick nerve will come out, which is known as the axillary nerve. That axillary nerve will be distributed to the muscles, triceps, biceps brachii, muscles of the arm will be distributed, will be innervated by the axillary. So this is the axillary nerve. And a small nerve will originate just along the posterior border of the scapula and will be innervating a muscle. There is a thin muscle which is known as the teres major muscle. So this teres major muscle will be innervated by this nerve. So this is our nerve to teres major. Axillary is distributed to the muscles of the shoulder and arm over here, and nerve to teres major is destined to that small muscle along the posterior border of the scapula. Then the musculocutaneous branch is another thin branch which will originate from this anterior aspect of the plexus, and while coming so there will be one nerve which is known as the median nerve. This will form a loop along the median nerve through which brachial artery will pass, and this will provide branches to the neck and thorax at its anterior aspect. Now a number of nerves which are destined to the pectoral muscles over here, they are 3 to 4 in number. They will go down and will be distributed to the pectoral muscles. Then come the radial nerve. Now 3 nerves are originating from this plexus. One is the median nerve, other is the radial nerve, and another is the ulnar nerve. These are the 3 nerves going down from this large plexus, which are ultimately destined to the digits. Now look to the picture over here. This is the brachial plexus, which has been formed by the convergence of these spinal nerves, 6th, 7th and 8th cervical spinal nerves, and 1st and 2nd thoracic spinal nerves. They are forming the plexus. So first it is forming the suprascapular nerve, then it is forming the subscapular nerve, and these are the thoracic nerve. This is a long thoracic, this is thoracodorsal, this is nerve to teres major, and this is the axillary nerve. And finally we are getting 3 nerves over here. One is the radial nerve, median nerve, and the ulnar nerve. And what is happening to them? So this is the leg of the animal. Here is the distal end of the humerus. This is the radius. This is the ulna, the carpal bones, metacarpal bone, first phalanx, second phalanx and the third phalanx. So the three nerves which we are getting over here are the radial, median and ulnar. This is the medial aspect of the whole of the limb. So we are getting an ulnar nerve which is coming downward and backward in between the radius and the ulna. This is coming down and will detach two local branches. This will cross the carpal region, and below the carpal region it will be divided into two branches. One will go anteriorly, other will go posteriorly. The median nerve, which is middle in position, this will go in front of the ulnar, will give some branches to the local muscles, that is the flexor group of muscles, will cross the carpal region and will come to the posterior aspect of the metacarpal region. The radial nerve, it is also coming down. It will be situated along the anterior border of this radius. It will also cross the carpal region and will go along the anterior aspect of the metacarpal bone. Now, how they are distributed over there, we shall to look carefully. For that reason, we shall to draw two figures, one front and another is the back side of the limb. We are drawing the anterior aspect of the limb and the posterior aspect of the limb. These are the hoops and posterior aspect of the limb. This is the back side, heel side. This is front side and this is the back side of the leg. The ulnar nerve, this is the ulnar. It is divided into two. One is going to front and other is going to behind. So this is the ulnar nerve. Ulnar nerve is coming up and is dividing into two. One is going toward the front and going to the. This is the lateral aspect and this is the medial aspect of the limb. So this is the lateral aspect and this is the medial aspect of the limb. This is front and this is the back side of the limb. The ulnar nerve divides, one is going towards the front and it is continue as the anterior lateral abaxial digital nerve. This ulnar nerve, when it goes to the same ulnar nerve, one has gone to the front, you cannot see over there. This is the posterior branch. This posterior branch is here. This is the back side. So this will come downward and will continue here as the posterior lateral abaxial digital nerve. The median nerve will come to the back side of this metatarsal bone. So this is the back side. So median nerve is coming, crossing this carpal region. It is dividing into two. One is lateral and medial branch. This lateral and medial branch again will divide into axial and abaxial branches. So axial branches will join together and will go along the length, along the midline. This will form the posterior common axial digital nerve. And this lateral branch will join with this ulnar. So they combinedly, this nerve is forming the posterior lateral abaxial digital nerve. The medial one will go along abaxial one, and this will form posterior medial abaxial digital. This is the posterior common axial digital. So this is about, so three nerves we are getting at the back side. Similarly, three nerves will get in the front. What happens? This is the median nerve. Now here is the radial nerve is coming. Radial nerve is going in front. So this will come downward and will be divided into lateral and medial branches. This external branch will continue downward as the anterior medial abaxial digital nerve, and this one axial branch will continue as the anterior common axial digital nerve. So this is all about the distribution of different branches of the brachial plexus, which has been formed as I told earlier.